Hi everybody, Pat Huntoon here from Technique Junkies, and today I'm going to show you how to make that fun and spring-like card at the beginning of the tutorial. And what we're going to be using today is the brand new Distress Oxide Kitsch Flamingo, which is a new Ranger Distress Oxide. Shabby Shutters is the green we're going to use, and Poppy Arrangement S896. This was just released in February. It's so beautiful stamped. And S157, You Are Extraordinary. So those are the main items we're using. Those are the four things that are in the kit that I have for you today, but we're also going to be using a Memento ink pad and a couple of Copic markers. I did not include these in the kit because I think most people have markers and or black ink, so I did not include those. So it also includes brushes. So in this kit. So we're going to start with the Kitsch Flamingo. This is a brand new color from Tim Holtz Distress Oxide, the Ranger product. And what I'm using is a brush on here. This is a blending brush, simple blending brush. And I'm just going to rub that on there, get it nice and full of ink. My finger's on top because it gives me a lot of leverage. And I'm just working on the glass mat. Some people prefer to work on a craft mat when they're working ink into a paper. I'm using circular motions, and I am going to fill half, a little less than half, of this cardstock piece. When I did the Technique Junkie newsletter, which was a newsletter of tutorials that I did for 12 years, I did a tutorial called Color Sandwich, and this is kind of based on the color sandwich idea, if you're familiar with the newsletter at all. It was two colors with a little bit of white in the center, and it really highlights colors put together without having to mix them together, without having to mix colors. I don't think that the Kitsch Flamingo and the Shabby Shutters would look great mixed together, so I just decided to do a color sandwich. Right, so I have that top portion done. I might add a little bit here because I see on camera I can see a little white spot there. So we'll just finish these little areas off to get it as color saturated as I would like. So I'll close that one up. And I'm using a second brush for Shabby Shutters. Just going to ink that up, and I'm going to turn this around. Now I am going to wipe this off so I don't pick any pink up and put it into the green. Ink my brush again with the Shabby Shutters, and then rub this one in. I love the Shabby Shutters color. I think it's a really unsung hero when it comes to spring colors. I think it's gorgeous. And you can see the green on there. I'm actually going to place this into my Misty now. I'm placing this in the Misty. I'm using the Misty here. So, and close that down. Now I want to show you a little trick. You can use any sort of acetate that you want. You can use something that came out of a piece of packaging. You could use an old piece of acetate from a old stamp positioner, or like I have here. This was from a piece of packaging. It was stuffed inside of something. So it's just a piece of acetate. Now I've held on to that for a reason, because what I want to do is I'm going to put this on here and then lift this off. Put the acetate in here. Now what I want to do is line this up the best way I can, and then I am having that in the corner like that. I'm going to do a light stamping of this with the acetate in there to make sure that everything is exactly where I want it. So you can see everything's lined up nicely. The words are lined up a little bit. I'm going to move them just a little bit. I'm going to move the extraordinary down just a tiny touch. The tiniest of touches. And then I can just take this acetate out and re-stamp that piece. One of the ways that you can get a nice even inking is to brayer the top of your Misty. I think that works really well. So it's good and brayered on there. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more ink to that. The olive brayers, let's put them to use. Lift that off. Oh, look at that beautiful inking on there. Okay, so I could just leave it like that. It's just pretty just like that, isn't it? It's just quite a gorgeous stamp. It's very nice standalone, or you can do things to it. I am going to let that ink dry just for a second or two, and I'll be right back at you. Okay, so I could leave that as is, or I could take two or three markers that are similar in color. Now I'm going to be using Copic markers. You could use whatever markers you have in your own stash. And what is important with this type of card, or the way we're doing this card, is to use markers that are very close, maybe one little notch up in color value as far as the tint is as far as the hue is concerned. So I'm using just a slightly, and I mean slightly lighter green marker for the green portions. And there you go. So if I wanted to be fancier, I could add more colors to that, but the simple two-tone card is absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to add some layers to this to make it the card you see at the front of the tutorial, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up on YouTube and consider subscribing to the Technique Junkies YouTube channel. Hope to see you next time. Bye now.